Thank you so much for being on the show.
What's
brother.
up, man? Thanks for coming out.
This is awesome. So this is the first time anyone's ever done this for us, and I feel very welcomed in this place. So thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome to our studio.
Yeah. You're one of those guys that's in the fitness space, but you're also dabbling into other areas. I know you're invested into like ad companies, you're invested into different kind of portfolios. So first off, I want to ask, like, why is that? Why have you, is this a new thing for you that you've started to spread your wings into different industries, or?
No, I think, you know what's funny, dude? I've been on YouTube since literally the day that it came out, right? Since like 2007, 8, 9, right around then. Facebook, since Facebook came out. I was buying 3 cents emails when Facebook came out. I was running my own Facebook ads because it was really simple, like 2 clicks and you're running a campaign. And so I just took to Instagram a little later than everyone else because I was making hundreds of millions on YouTube and Facebook. And so I was kind of flying under the radar. But I'm a big believer in investing in companies that I know I can add value to by way of being an accelerator. So I'll give you a great example of that. You said, well, hey, you're in fitness, but you're invested in a media company. But the media company or ad agency that I invested in focus on the fitness industry, gyms, boot camps, Pilates, et cetera, right?
Okay.
So I know that I've got 108,000 personal trainers, gym owners, et cetera, on my email list.
Okay.
And I also know that if they're doing $15,000, $20,000 a month now, when I introduce them to my network,
It's gonna boom.
Boom, right?
Yeah.
So what I typically do, and you see me with my Empire Mastermind or 7-figure mastermind that I run, when I get mastermind members on board, people think that's how I make my money from coaching. It's not. That's a vetting process. You pay me 50 grand to be in my coaching program. Sure, your business is going to skyrocket, but I'm going to see whose business is skyrocketing the fastest and if I can add any of my accelerator to it. And if you're doing everything right, the second year, instead of saying, hey, why don't you rejoin the mastermind, I'll say, why don't we partner up? Give me some kind of equity in your business. I'm going to be the accelerator. I might add my list, my traffic, I might add money, I might add my network. And those 3 things will accelerate the business and I get a piece of the pie. And so that's how I end up investing in these businesses. But the thing they have in common is not so much that they're fitness, is it that I can be the accelerator to it.
Okay, and what's so interesting to me is you say these numbers, $50,000 to get coached and mentored by you. Obviously, that requires a lot of leverage and resources for you to get to this point where...
Sure, like the first year, I was, like when I started this in 2007, 8, my first coaching clients were paying like $4,800 a year to coach with me.
Man,
and I was like begging people to work with me.
So how did you first begin this entire journey? I know your story is very well known in the space, so I don't want to really kind of get into that.
Yeah.
But what gets me really interested about people like you is how resourceful you guys are, and how leveraged and how much you can do in such a quick amount of time. And so for everybody that's watching, can you guide us down when it first begun, how your path was versus how it is today and how much has changed?
Yeah, so before I was the human bottleneck, because like probably everyone else who's watching this, it was one of those things where I got to do it all. I got to write the copy, I got to run the ads, I got to tell everyone what to do. If I want to start a new company, I've got to create the corporation, I've got to get the bank account. Then I realized that's a really slow process. Like you don't see Richard Branson who owns, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Galactic, Virgin this, Virgin Mobile. You don't see him going and doing everything. He's got CEOs under him who report back up top to him, right? So I realized what I really need is leadership. And what I realized is what I lacked was leadership. No one's going to want to work for a poor leader. So while I was a good marketer and a good entrepreneur, notice I didn't say great. I was a good marketer, good entrepreneur. I wasn't a good or even great leader. I was a mediocre leader, and therefore no one really wanted to align themselves with me. So once I figured that out, I decided to grow my leadership muscles. And so who I was before, I'm going to do everything as much as I can, probably have 2, 3, 4 employees around me, and that's it. Who I am now is if I come up with an idea for a business because I see a vacuum in an industry that I want to serve, I will go find a leader, plug them in, give them equity. I will fund with money, I will fund with traffic, I will fund with media, and we'll scale it. But just to give you an idea, in the last 12 months, I started 3 businesses. One of them became a 7-figure business in 3 months, truly, in our supplement line upstairs. I found the CEO for that out of Scottsdale in my stories. I literally put a thing in my stories for Instagram. It's like, look, I'm looking for a guy who's going to be a VP of my company right now. It's going to be a supplement company. You got to be a hustler, a fighter jet. I'm unreasonable to work with and to work for. But if you think that you can handle working with me, then let's connect, right? 40 some odd people reached out. At the end, he was the one man standing. After several interviews, he moved out in 2 weeks. The rest has been history. We launched a company in 3 months, made 7 figures, and now it's just growing. And so then I realized, hey, there's this group of men who are suffering in silence, that are white knuckling through life. They're married, they have a business, they have kids, they don't know how to balance it all. They're passive aggressive, they lost their fucking fire in their belly. And I realized I can help coach them up, but I don't have the time to really coach them up. But what I do have is a Navy SEAL in my life who is trying to leave deployment. And he's like, man, I'm tired of deploying. I want to leave deployment, but I don't know what kind of job I can get with the skill sets I have, right? Like, I know how to kill people. I know how to break into doors. I know how to track someone with satellite. How's that going to help? I'm like, well, dude, you also know how to lead, communicate, problem solve, and men need that. So I got the Navy SEAL. Then I got a friend who's a Marine. He's a coaching client. Got him together. I was telling you about my friend who now works with me upstairs, who owned the Kill House in Idaho.
Yep.
Matt Schneider, he's upstairs now. He works for us. And so I got a group of leaders together, and I said, guys, we're going to launch a project, which is for men. It's $12,000 a guy. We get 12 guys for 75 hours every other month, and we change their life. Immediately became a 7-figure business, right? I do nothing but advertise for that. They do the selling, the closing, set it all up with Joan, of course. Joan's like the glue that holds it all together. And so it's finding the right people who can be leaders to help accelerate the business. And I wish I would have known that a decade and a half ago, because I would have been even richer, even sooner, with less stress.
See, I see you telling me this, and the disconnect that I think the viewers may have is that you're in a position where I'm sure you get this a lot, like, oh, you can say that, it's so easy, you're successful, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
What people lack is the connection of how do you get yourself from, let's say, a startup to being able to actually leverage to get to a position where you can hire people. Because let's say, let me give you like some guy, his name is Chris, no money, nothing, has this idea, wants to get started, puts in the effort, is willing to put in the hours, but how does he get himself to work from in the business to out the business? Because that's what I'm pretty much hearing from you, right?
Yeah. So that's a good question. What Chris needs to do is just put his head down and work in the trenches for a decade. See, that's the part of the story. Remember, I said I started YouTube and Facebook literally when they came out in 2007, 2008, 2009, right around then, right? And I was just buying traffic for my coaching business, then for my franchise when I launched it. It wasn't even a franchise when I launched it. It was a licensing program. Full Body Bootcamp was a licensing program. It didn't become a franchise until 2012. So I share that with you because now when people decide, hey, I'm going to launch a business and I want to work on my business, they immediately launch an Instagram account with it. Nothing wrong with launching an Instagram account, but then they start flashing and flossing and showing fucking rented Lamborghinis and they rent private jets from places that are right down the street in Chino that are parked, and they do a photo shoot with it. All that time and energy should be spent in working in the fucking trenches. Do you understand that? That's why I didn't start an Instagram account until 2015. And everyone's like, man, you came on the scene out of nowhere. No, motherfucker, I was grinding. I was building for 15 years.
Yeah.
Paying for traffic from YouTube and Facebook and building an empire. Then when I went on Instagram and started to position myself as an authority, it's because I really was an authority. Like, I know what it's like building a business. I know what it's like when you have employees sabotaged from within. I know what it's like being sued. I know what it's like to go and grow in other countries and what you have to do to deal with Health Canada or the European Union when you want a trademark. I know all that shit, so I can coach people on it. But when you see people coming out the woodwork and all of a sudden they position themselves as a public figure, an entrepreneur, a thought leader, a business coach, dude, because you know how to buy traffic, you're not a business coach. You're a traffic buyer, period. That's it. And so I share that with you because the Chris example that you're giving, he just needs to be in the trenches for a decade, getting his body covered with entrepreneurial scars. Like, those are the lessons that you learn in the trenches, not through mentorship, not through university, not nowhere else, but just FIO, figuring it out. Then you become someone who's got money, and money helps you buy access to people, to information, where you can become a better leader. Like, it was money that helped me go and learn from Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and Ed Milet. Like, before I became friends with them, I was their client.
Okay.
Right?
Because I was just about to ask you, how do you get in front of people like that?
Yeah, make money and then buy access
their
to
services.
Them. Yeah. People are like, oh, I want to go hang out with Ed Milet. Fucking pay him. Pay him. You want to learn from Gary Vee? Pay him. Right? Pay him, because he will coach you if you pay him. Buy his boxes of wines, whatever it is. But everyone wants it for free because I deserve a piece too. No, you don't. You don't deserve shit.